came across this watercolor ink while shopping at Michael's. It was on clearance for $3 for each of these. So I picked up 2 or 3 of these and thought I'd give a whirl. Just gonna put a little dab in each of these little pockets of this thing here. Just do a super light wash. One of the things that I do to sort of keep the juices flowing and stay creative and, I don't know, keep inspired and wanting to do stuff is just make these blobs. But like, we're going small today, so these are thumbnails. And I personally have a problem with trying to blur my vision. That they always say, just blur your vision and whatever. I struggle with that. So what I do instead is do thumbnails small. These none of these are bigger than the size of a quarter probably, and just do a little wash with this ink. I'll put a link down below. I'll try to find them on Amazon for you and provide a link. So I super watered down, just less than a drop or a drop in each one. I keep adding the water, keep just making a bunch of little blobs. This is some cardstock that I found on my shelf. I don't know. I bought cardstock for some reason, but I had a handful of this left, and it's just doing nothing. So, and it seems like a good thing to do a wash on. But this could be in my sketchbook or whatever. I just didn't have my white paper sketchbook handy, so I'm just filling the page or making a bunch of blobs until I get sick of making blobs, really. And then just like everything else, just like the other sort of creative flow exercise, it's just gonna grab a pen and start outlining. Some of them will appeal, some of them I'll see different things or whatever. I did a couple of like darker tones on some of these, so I'll just start with this one. This one popped right out at me. It was like, kind of looks like a mushroom, so draw a mushroom. I don't know, I don't make it complicated, I mean, I don't start. This is a morning coffee. This is, just doing this stuff. So there's no right, there's no wrong, but doing this small keeps me from getting hyper focused on details. And then if it's an idea that I like, I'll make it bigger. At first I was like, it's a caterpillar on there. I was thinking like Alice in Wonderland, it's sitting on the mushroom and whatever, but we'll see later that it becomes something else, but that's all right. It's just popping the idea. So now I got this little concept of something that I hadn't thought of before, and I can expand on it later. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. It's like a mushroom, toadstool or something, looking up from under it, and it's certainly a perspective angle that I wouldn't think of otherwise. So maybe it's getting me thinking about a worm's eye view or looking uphill at something. So that'll get added to a sketchbook later as something else. Yeah, let's start on this one. This is just going to be whatever this is going to be. I'm seeing like a dude here with a muscly dude fighting or something with his arms outstretched. So I'm going to try to expand on that. The purpose of a lot of this stuff is just design flow or idea flow. It's not masterpiece art, especially this small. So this small is really filters out the details, so we can get big picture ideas, And I think he's in like a grassy field or something, maybe an outcropping. Maybe he's fighting for the last, fighting against the enemy, and this is his last stand. He's backed into not a corner, but up onto the cliff face, and pew pew. You gotta make the sounds when you do it, right? I'm voicing over this, but I'm sure that I was making the sounds while I was doodling it. And he's kind of like a mech warrior guy or something. I don't know. Yeah, but then just sort of absorb the blobs and see what's next, or do I expand on this more? Do I go back to jump around? And throughout this video, you'll see that I jump around, like I move around to the different ones and come back to ones. Sometimes if you just make a mess of blobs on a few pages one day and come back a couple days later, it'll all reveal itself. Like, looking at this now that I've done the video, I'm like, oh, I would do that, I would do that, I'd do these different. Every time you look at these and give your brain a rest from the blobs, you'll come back and you'll see different things in the blobs. So just let them be. And so, yeah, filling like a few pages of these and then coming back to that sketchbook a few days later is sometimes the more fun part of this exercise, because for one, you don't have to mess around with the water to get, you'll have a few pages filled and you can just hop in there with a ballpoint pen wherever you are. But also, like, letting your brain rest from the shapes before you tackle the shapes is sometimes the best way to go, because you come up with like some really great ideas just looking at them, or while you're talking on the phone, or while you're chatting with somebody, or sitting through some painful meeting at work or something. You can doodle on the blobs, and you'll find yourself with some great ideas that you wouldn't consider otherwise. I couldn't decide what that one was. It was a flying robot with a scorpion tail, or what, I don't know. It wasn't. At first I thought I had something there, but then I didn't. But not every blob needs to be a thing. It can just be a whatever. This one kind of looked like a bird to me. My brain goes to birds an awful lot. I like chickens. I have chickens. I'm a little taken by birds, so as my brain just makes up bird shapes, like, oh yeah, there it is. But again, like, if I were to, it's an idea, so it'll sit in the sketchbook or something, but like, yeah, it's a different perspective, like a bird looking at you over his shoulder. Not how people typically draw the birds. Now I come back to this, like, yeah, I want that to be a mouse on that mushroom. And I mean, I know that's classic cheesy, I don't know, maybe it's too cheesy, but there it is. That's what I wanted to do. And then decide that that other blob is somebody he's talking to. So it's a wing, it's a butterfly or some or a moth or something, and then there we go. Now they're pals, and now there's a story there. And it's small, so I don't have to mess with it. Later on, I'll go look for references or something and expand on that maybe. But what's he saying, I try to make up the story as you go, like, what's that mouse saying to a butterfly, or vice versa, or like, he's like, hey, that's my toadstool, get off my toadstool, jerk. And I was really struggling with this run of things, and I left that top band empty for now, and dove into this one because there was a two-tone thing going on there that I liked, and I almost did a bird again. I was like, nope. So then it just turned into some mechanical shape. But anyway, I'm just gonna let the video ride out, do what it's doing, and we'll just think about staying inspired. This isn't like the only staying inspired or keeping the juices flowing method by any means. It's just some of the stuff that I do. But it's hard you can easily burn yourself out. While I was illustrating Dungeons and Dragons and RPG adventures and things, I get burnt out so fast by taking commissions. People want you to illustrate something. The pay stinks, or you're struggling to get by, and you're never doing the things. You stop feeling like fine art. It certainly starts feeling like illustration, but then like I wanted it to be more a cross between the two, and really burnt myself out with the RPG stuff and the illustration stuff. And so now I don't take commissions. I just kind of do what I do. I'll still write an adventure, I'll illustrate it myself, but I've decided that I can't take on commissions for other people anymore. If I've done something that somebody wants, that's going to be great. And here you go, it's all done. But not put myself on a timeline or anything like that, because it adds a lot of pressure, and artwork and drawing suddenly becomes a burden, an albatross around your neck, something that's hard to jump into, it's hard to start, and you have to love it, because in the tabletop gaming world, the pay is just awful. It's just the way it is, because there isn't a lot of money there, illustrating for magazines and higher end publications is more money, and maybe that's worth it. I don't know, but for now, this is where we're at. We're just continuing to make marks and continuing to stay inspired, and I do work for myself, but I'm not working for other people at this time. Yeah, I come back to this fighting dude a little bit. Like the highlights on there, like those white marks are going to turn into something later. Oh, that was a spoiler. But I really like this white jelly roll. However, like, it's been around so long that it kind of makes a squeaky noise when I use it now, and I find that a little annoying. But maybe it's almost time to get another one, but I have to retire this one first, so I'm going to use it up. So down here, I'm making these lighter blobs. This is really washed out. Like, I've loaded this with water and very little ink. Like, I'm literally, and all of this is just, it's literally just 2 drops out of that ink bottle. So that $3 ink bottle could last a long time, fill a lot of pages. Sometimes, like, the lower contrast things, I don't know how difficult this is to see in the video, but lower contrast things sometimes feed the creativity a little bit better. I always think I want, like, double contrast stuff, like you see up above, but I leave a lot of those alone because it's too much contrast. It defines too much. So the super light blob defines less, and my brain has to work a little harder to fill it in. And here we go. I'm terrible at doing cutesy, but my brain sees cutesy. So there's this happy little lizard, and he's got an eyeball on the end of his tail. And which is kind of an interesting idea. If it weren't for this exercise, though, I'd never have that idea. So later, on another sketchbook page or another illustration, maybe a lizard with an eyeball on his tail is something interesting. Maybe he's like what do you call those? The lizards that turn people to stone, I'll think of it, like a cockatrice. No, that's a bird. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I got some markers out, threw a little green on there because I thought he was cool. And it only takes a couple of blobs because it's so small. But like, later we'll revisit. Just an idea page, and it's a thumbnail. It's exactly what it's meant to be. And this is how I think this really feeds other artwork a lot, because you can flip through these pages purposely or accidentally as you're opening your sketchbook, and you'll see these wacky, free-flowing ideas that just mean nothing at the time, but it will stick with you. It will revisit your conscious brain later as an idea, or a perspective to draw things in, or just that lizard in the tail. It's like a note to yourself. It's like a note to self. A lizard can have an eyeball on his tail, or this little teddy bear guy, or I don't know what's happening here, but the blobs are the blobs. So we just sort of go with it. First I thought maybe he'll be a ghosty bear, but then he got some teddy bear legs. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that's part of the flow. This page is covering everything from like a warrior mech guy to this flying teddy bear? Well, I don't know. Poorly drawn, ugly bear? What is that? And this looked like something to me, like an insect guy standing on a, like a warrior or something. I don't know, it covers the gamut, and it's just a great exercise. Anyway, I'd be interested in hearing about what anybody else comes up with or how this works for you. Um, it's one of my favorite exercises, and I'm happy to share it. Happy to share my thoughts, but do people want longer videos or shorter videos? I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at this YouTube stuff. I'm definitely deep in the Gen X world, and but I do have a degree in communications and new media, so I should be good at this. But I honestly don't know what folks are looking for. I know what I search for when I search for art videos, but like, I don't know if things that I search for are very common. Anyway, I'm gonna come back to this fighting guy. I really kind of like this pose, and I can't, we don't get to see his face. We have to fill it in, so we have to. It's the back of his head. He's facing away. He's shooting his sploot gun at whatever that thing is. And I've had this. He's got these markers on the side, so we're gonna mess around with this. And I don't know, it's like a sort of an anime idea of like doing things in the sunlight. So it'd be a bright sunny day, but this guy's fighting to save himself with his sploot gun, whatever's going on there. Initially I think it was supposed to be like a laser beam or explosion or something, but in retrospect, I should have made that green. I should have made it a slime gun or something. That would be interesting, right? Because the sploot that I made isn't exactly straight. So yeah, so this one gets maybe the size of a silver dollar or something, like a large. This is no longer the size of a quarter, but it adds a little atmosphere, a little background. It does a cool thing. A little green in the grass. Yeah. So now he's not just on a cliff face. He's on this like weird floating island grass. I don't know. He's floating. Maybe he's flying like the Green Goblin. And then here's the yellow sploot. I should have made that green. That's all right. But the idea is there. So thanks for watching. Do that usual subscribe junk and everything that everybody always talks about. And let me know in the comments like what you want to see. If you want to go bigger, smaller, longer videos, shorter, I don't know. Let me know, and we'll make a creative flow for it. See you soon.